If you've ever wondered whether there's one garden secret that can change everything, this is it. I'm talking about a dark, earthy, almost magical liquid that I started using years ago. It turned my tomatoes into fruit factories, made my peppers ripen faster, and brought earthworms storming into my beds like they were invited to a party. I didn't find it in a store, and it didn't come in a glossy bottle with a fancy label. It was brewed right at home. I'm about to share what I call black gold for gardeners, microbe-rich compost tea. This is not hype. This stuff transforms tired soil, wakes up roots, and jumpstarts fruiting in a way chemical fertilizers simply can't. If you love soil stories and real practical gardening advice, then pull up a seat. Let's dig in. Think of compost tea as living fertilizer. It's not just nutrients dissolved in water like many store-bought fertilizers. It's alive, full of beneficial bacteria, fungi, and microorganisms that build soil health from below the surface. When you brew compost tea, you're basically multiplying the beneficial microbes already living in healthy compost. The result is a dark, rich liquid that your plants and soil instantly recognize and respond to. Where chemical feeds give plants a short-term boost, compost tea creates long-term fertility. When I first used it, I didn't see results overnight, but within 2 weeks, leaves were darker, stems thicker, and flowering doubled. That's when I knew I'd stumbled onto something powerful. Let's be real, a lot of gardeners still focus on NPK numbers, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Those matter, but they're only tools. Microbes are the workers that deliver those tools directly to plant roots. Compost tea works because microbes, well, they do a few important things. First, they break down organic matter into forms plants can actually absorb. Second, they protect roots from certain soil-borne diseases. Third, they increase nutrient uptake, especially during flowering and fruiting. Fourth, they improve soil structure, creating these nice, airy, breathable growing conditions. And finally, they support long-term fertility instead of just fast, artificial growth. One gardener described it to me perfectly. Chemical fertilizers feed plants, compost tea feeds the soil, and then the soil feeds the plants. Once you understand that difference, honestly, everything changes. So, the first time I brewed compost tea, I just used a really simple recipe: finished compost water and, a little unsulfured molasses. I honestly didn't expect much. I watered my tomatoes with it 3 times over about 2 weeks. And then, well, the explosion happened. Tomatoes set more flowers than I'd ever seen before. Bell peppers plumped up faster than usual. Even my basil, which honestly had been struggling, turned this rich, deep green. At first I thought it was just luck, so I tried it again the next season, and again the following year. Same results, every time. Didn't matter if it was tomatoes, cucumbers, eggplants, berries, or fruit trees, the effect was always reliable. This is why I say the soil stays enriched for years. Microbes don't just disappear after a week, they multiply, build communities, and keep helping plants season after season. You don't need any fancy pumps or expensive kits to get started. All you really need is a bucket, some quality compost, non-chlorinated water. Rainwater is excellent, by the way, and a source of microbe food, like molasses, which is probably the easiest. Here's how I've been doing it for years. Fill a bucket about 1/3 full of compost. Add water all the way to the top and stir it up thoroughly. Then just mix in a tablespoon of molasses to really activate microbial growth. Let the mixture steep for 1 to 3 days, stirring it once or twice a day. That's it. The liquid should become dark, earthy, and have a slightly sweet smell. If it smells sour or rotten, something went wrong. So, really just start fresh. Strain it before applying and use within 24 hours for maximum microbial activity. That's it. No chemicals, no complicated equipment, just time and biology. I use it in 2 main ways: soil drench and foliar spray. As a soil drench, compost tea delivers living microbes straight to the root zone. This is perfect when plants are transplanted, beginning to flower, producing fruit, recovering from stress, or in poor, compacted soil. As a foliar spray, the nutrients and microbes land directly on leaves, helping improve leaf health and, potentially, reducing some fungal issues. Do this in the early morning or evening to avoid sun scorch. One of the most dramatic responses I see is during the fruiting stage. The boost in microbial activity means plants can access more phosphorus and potassium, which means, more flowers, and more flowers mean more fruit. This isn't just gardener folklore. University studies have confirmed that compost teas can increase plant nutrient uptake, improve soil biodiversity, reduce certain leaf diseases, and even enhance fruiting and flowering. But here's what matters most to home gardeners. Microbes in compost tea build soil structure. When soil has structure, roots can breathe, water drains well, and nutrients stay available rather than washing away. Healthy soil doesn't happen by accident. It's built, season after season. Once you master basic compost tea, you can experiment. Some of my personal favorites are, worm castings for supercharged microbial life, banana peels for extra potassium during fruiting, seaweed extract for trace minerals and root health, and crushed eggshells for slow-release calcium, especially for tomatoes and peppers. The goal is not to dump everything into one bucket. The goal is balance. A little always goes a long way. The most common mistake is thinking compost tea is fertilizer water. It isn't. It's a biological brew. Mistake 1, using chlorinated water. The fix, let tap water sit 24 hours before use. Mistake 2, brewing too long. The fix is to stick to 1 to 3 days maximum. Mistake 3, storing tea. The fix is to use it fresh. Microbes lose oxygen and die. Mistake 4, using bad compost. The fix is, good tea starts with good compost. After 3 seasons of using compost tea, I noticed something remarkable. I didn't have to feed my garden as often. Soil stayed loose, dark, and rich even in dry weather. Earthworms showed up uninvited. That's when I realized something bigger. Compost tea doesn't just grow better plants, it doesn't bigger distor. Some monstri become in dan den the desten dam this damer doesn't gan grows better soil. And better soil makes gardening easier every single year. This is the real secret. The more you feed the soil, the less work you do later. Every season becomes smoother, harvests become bigger, and the garden becomes healthier. If you're tired of relying on bottled feeds, synthetic products, or guessing what your soil needs, try this. Brew 1 bucket, water a few plants, watch what happens over the next 2 weeks. The results will speak louder than anything I could write. This isn't a gardening trend, it's a time-tested, nature-approved method that works in backyard beds, balconies, containers, raised gardens, and small farms alike. We gardeners always look for game changers. Compost tea is one of the rare ones that actually deserves the title. If you found this guide helpful and you want more real, practical growing wisdom, be sure to subscribe to Soil Stories and share this article with another gardener who loves growing food as much as you do. Happy brewing, and here's to soil that stays enriched for years.